Yo. Yo. Welcome to the stream. Can everybody hear me and see me? I am streaming on YouTube and Twitch right now, so if you prefer to watch on Twitch, that's an option. Go to twitch.tv/T1J_. And I can read both chats, yes. And in fact, both chats should appear on the screen. Can I like refresh this? It's supposed to be bigger. Oh well. Anyway, how's everyone doing today? It is a nice afternoon here in Birmingham, Alabama, where I am. Am I using the SM7B microphone? I am. I'm looking to upgrade to a better quality mic. Well, you can't go wrong with the 7B. I mean, it is by far one of the most popular microphones for podcasters and streamers. So, I mean, I love it. It sounds like butter. Like when you upgrade from, because I had a decent mic before I had this, but when you upgrade to this, it's like just night and day. But the only thing with this mic is you will probably have to buy like a preamp or something that like gives it more gain, because it's a really quiet mic. That's what this red thing is. It like pumps some more gain into it, some more like noiseless gain. I mean, you could just jam the volume up, but that could add like noise in the background. So something to keep in mind if you're going to invest in this. It might require more money than you expected. This is already a pretty expensive mic. Got my second vaccine dose today. Dope. I got mine a couple weeks ago. I am one of the fully vaccinated folks now. Defending my master's thesis tomorrow. Dope. Good luck with that. I actually didn't have any side effects. I mean, besides like arm soreness, I didn't have any side effects whatsoever. I've heard that the Moderna shot is more likely to have side effects than Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, but I'm not sure if that's true or just some shit people made up. How do I, as a straight trans woman, get guys to like me? Wondering, since the dating advice for women you posted ages ago doesn't fully apply. I don't even remember what I put in that video. I don't know, like the question, how do I get people to like me, is a weird question, I think. And you are specifically talking about being a trans woman. So if it sounds like you're implying that you being trans is the reason that people won't like you, and it's like super cliche, but like if someone doesn't like you because you're trans, that's not a person that you want to be involved with at all. So you should be, you should consider that a dodged bullet. But other than that, it's kind of a weird question. Like, you get people to like you, everyone gets people to like them in the same way. Like, be nice, be interesting. And you also shouldn't expect everyone to like you. Some people are just not gonna vibe with you, but some people will, as long as you're just like a nice person who is interesting and fun to be around. I don't know. What's my favorite video game? My favorite video game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 3. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Archibald. What makes a magical Negro? I know it sounds like a dumb question, but I asked myself if Morgan Freeman from Evan Almighty playing God is putting him in that category. It's funny you say Evan Almighty, because Bruce Almighty is first, and Morgan Freeman's in that movie too. I don't know. I think you could argue that counts as a magical Negro, but some people have disputed that it is, because he's literally playing God and not just some random black dude that happens to be magical, like inexplicably, which happens sometimes in movies. But I mean, he's like literally God, so like there's an explanation for why he's magical. But you could argue that. I mean, it's it fits the trope of sort of like the wise black dude, the infinitely wise black dude, literally. That's sort of like sort of like a compensation for racism almost. Do I smoke? Not really. Electric Domain, thank you for the 5. Afternoon T1J. How are you today? Did you ever eat Chef Boyardee as a kid? Did you like it? Do you like it now? Well, I'm fine. To answer the first question, I'm sure I had Chef Boyardee as a kid. I don't really remember. I'm sure I liked it. I mean, like canned ravioli and shit. I mean, that's fine. I haven't had anything like that in years and years, but I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure I would still like it, but I don't think it would be like anything I would go out of my way to eat, really. I have heard of Abba and Preach. I haven't, watched a whole lot of their stuff, but I like what I've seen. Yeah, I mean, dating is hard for everyone, I think. I mean, I guess it's potentially harder for certain people than others, but there's enough people in the world where I feel like everybody can find someone that they vibe with. But you just have to acknowledge that sometimes people aren't going to vibe with you, and sometimes people aren't going to be great, and you don't want to vibe with them in the first place, and that's fine. Yeah, I've gotten both of my shots. Manuel Galvin, thank you for the 5. What do you think of other YouTube streamers? Specifically Destiny, Vosh, Philosophy Tube. Is Philosophy Tube a streamer? I didn't know that he streamed. I guess he streams sometimes. Never mind. Um I Destiny is probably the one that I've seen the most out of all those people. I think I Destiny's content I feel like is interesting to me a lot of the time. And when Destiny's like not specifically trying to be super edgy or like not being an asshole, I think I find him to be like a very insightful and smart, interesting person. But every now and then he slips into just like unnecessarily being a douchebag, I feel like. Um, Vosh, I don't watch quite as much. I've seen a few things by now. Vosh, I don't know, like it just doesn't seem like I'm the target audience for Vosh, so I don't really, it doesn't really vibe with me, I guess. Seems like he's like trying to target like edgy white dudes who like want to be leftists, and that's like the opposite of me in like all three of those ways, so I don't know. Philosophy Tube, I've only watched a lot of their videos, and the videos are like always good. So, any thoughts on the Oscars? Nope. Did I say he for Miss for Philosophy Tube? My bad. Do you think feminism is for all genders, or should it only concern itself with non-men? Um, I guess I mean I would say it's for all genders. I think it's focused around women, but feminism definitely talks about how it affects other genders. Stephen Wall 2010, thank you for the 4.99. Hey T1J, what are your thoughts on black Republicans slash conservatives? Um, I don't know. I think that conservatism is very generally pretty antagonistic towards people of color and definitely not beneficial to people of color. So it seems to be an inconsistent sort of thing, but I'm not really here to tell people what they can and can't support or what views they can and can't have. Bosch is a socialist. Yeah. Electric Lawman, thank you for the 5. I know Bishop is your guy, but which other X-Men character do you vibe with, or would you like the powers of? I don't know. Maybe like Professor X, or I don't know. Like teleportation would be pretty cool. Nightcrawler. I think the interesting thing about the X-Men is generally mutant powers. Like there are some mutants that are like just OP, but generally mutant powers are like very specific and limited, and that's kind of like the point, is like they got all these very specific mutations, and some of them are like really useful, and some of them are only very specifically useful for a certain thing, and some of them are only very specifically useful for combat, which I don't see myself being involved in a lot of combat, so I don't know. Loving the multi-stream idea. Appreciate it. What's up, Wes? Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch right now. So if you prefer Twitch, that's an option. Twitch.tv/T1J_. Have I seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Yeah, I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I have seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's super good. I was when I saw WandaVision, I was like, man, this is so dope. I don't know if I'm gonna like the other shows as much. But I ended up liking Falcon and Winter Soldier more than WandaVision. It's so fucking good. What's up, Zach? Yeah, I don't know. Bosch seems like a pretty intelligent guy, but I just don't feel like I'm the target audience. You think the left is accepting of people who are self-proclaimed reformed bigots? I've seen a trend where someone admits to having held bad beliefs and they get sort of canceled retroactively. Well, I mean, the sort of outrage, left-wing outrage, cancel culture, quote-unquote type stuff, that's a thing on the internet. I don't think it. I wouldn't say it like characterizes the left as a whole, but it's definitely it's definitely a thing that happens. Do I like Quentin Tarantino movies? Yes, I do. If so, which one's my favorite? It's a tie between Kill Bill and Jackie Brown. I have seen one episode of Black Mirror. I've seen the I think it's called Crocodile Tears. And apparently that's not a great episode to start on because it's like one of the darkest episodes. But that's the only one I've seen. I'm a big fan of David Pakman, actually. How's my chest going? It's going well. I reached well, actually I haven't. I was gonna say I reached 1100, but I haven't yet. But I'm close. I'm like 1080, 1070 something. Like I've unlocked like a new level of skill, I think. Like I was stuck pretty much between 900 and 1,000 for a long time, and now I'm like 1080 on chess.com. I just felt like something was crawling on me, and it was my own hair. This is the issue with having long hair. It's everywhere, and I frequently think that someone's touching me or that I have a bug on me, but it's just my own hair. I honestly don't know enough about Elon Musk. People talk about this dude all the time, but I don't really know what's going on with that guy, to be honest. Jackie Brown is amazing. Like in terms of, like, if I were to judge Quentin Tarantino's movies just in terms of what I think is just the most well-made movie across the board by him, I would say Jackie Brown. But I just love Kill Bill. It's just a super fun, super pretty movie. Just stumbled over this stream. You guys seem like a super chill community. I do have a pretty chill community, and I think that's because I'm a pretty chill guy. I think a lot of content creators sort of underestimate the fact that their communities are often a reflection of them. But I think that's usually the case. Patrick Quirk. Thank you for the $4.99. How do I get better at chess because I suck? Well, I mean, I'm not great at chess. Like I said, my rating's 1080. That's not great. That's not a very good rating. However, there's like so much chess content available right now. So if you really wanted to get better, there's so much stuff for you to watch and consume to get tips and stuff. But a lot of it is just playing the game a lot and starting to recognize patterns, do a lot of puzzles, learn. There's like basic things that you need to learn. Like, for example, different like checkmating patterns, or learning to spot when you have a potential checkmate. Because I think a lot of like lower rated players, they miss a lot of checkmates, and it's like you literally win the game if you checkmate your opponent, so you don't want to miss those. And then, you know, learning how to like get out of the opening in a decent position, which is pretty easy at low level because people really don't know how to play openings at low levels. Like once you start to get above 1,000, you start having people that actually like know some openings, but before that nobody knows what they're doing. So if you just put your pieces in the correct spots, like you're usually good, and you can usually like play the game. Am I currently watching any anime? Nope. The creepy tickles from long hair are real. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm a big fan of Quentin Tarantino. I like all of his movies that I've seen. I actually haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet, but I've seen all the other ones, and they're all really good, in my opinion. Have you ever heard of the High Elves? No, I don't think I know what that is. Do I think of Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 as one movie? Generally, yes, I do. I mean, they kind of are. I mean, it's one story, you know, it's not like one movie and a sequel. It's like literally one cohesive story. So, yeah. What do I think of the YouTube skeptic community? Is the YouTube skeptic community like still a thing? If it is, I do not keep up with it anymore. Have you smoked weed? I definitely have, and I do sometimes, but not a lot. Sky Blue's the homie. Thanks for supporting the channel. Oh yeah, D'Onofrio's Kingpin, that was amazing. That shit made me cry. Yeah, Destiny, I think Destiny is really interesting and clearly like very intelligent. I think that he thinks on a different level than most people who are making political content on YouTube. But he's just like kind of an asshole sometimes, and it's like that's just not really my jam. Like some people are into the super edgy fucking, you know, ranty meme type of shit, and that's just not really my jam. But again, you know, maybe I'm just not the target audience and it's not for me. But when he's, you know, when he's not like that, I really appreciate it. I like Django Unchained a lot, as I do all of Tarantino's movies. Have I seen RM Brown's videos? I don't think so. What are my opinions on Twitter as a social media platform as opposed to others? Well, Twitter has the obvious downside of having a limited number of characters, which makes it pretty much impossible to have any kind of nuanced discussion on there. But at the same time, Twitter seems to be one of the main places where people try to have political discussions, and that's not a great combination. I don't know if that's the fault of Twitter itself, but that's just kind of how it turned out. And because of that, depending on what area of Twitter you're involved in and who you follow, Twitter can be really really frustrating and annoying and infuriating. I'm a big fan of Caleb City. That's like one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's so funny. That shit's like side splitting to me. What's my opinion on the state of movies and where it'll be going in the future as movie theaters stay closed? I mean, I assume that movie theaters are going to open back up. I think that people still want to get the theater experience. But I do think that this sort of on-demand direct-to-streaming is going to continue, and that's going to make it a lot easier for lower-budget indie films to compete, I feel like. How did I feel about Jenny Slate leaving Big Mouth? People like Auburn Preach argue that was unnecessary. I just want to hear your opinion. I mean, I also think it was unnecessary, but I mean, it was her choice, right? People get to choose what they want to do. but I don't think it was necessary. How do you reason with someone who honestly believes people are trying to take away white people's rights? These kinds of questions are kind of like the wrong questions to ask, because you should not expect to change people's minds when you talk to them. It is just something that rarely happens. The most you can do is try to argue your point as well as you can, and then try to plant the seed in their mind, and hopefully and let them do with it what they will. But at the end of the day, people have to decide to even consider the fact that they might be wrong, and that's just a personal thing that they have to do. You can't spend your life getting frustrated at people who don't think the same way as you. That's a recipe for a frustrating and unsatisfactory life. I have gotten my COVID shots, yeah. I'm fully vaxxed up. Any thoughts on DC statehood? I guess I don't really know enough about the arguments for and against that. I mean, I think there would be some benefits of DC statehood, right? What are some critiques of the left you agree with? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's hard to, the left is a lot of things, depending. I think it means a lot different things to different people, so you might have to be a little more specific. I think that a critique of the left is that a lot of left-wing viewpoints are based more in emotion than like actual data and facts, which the right does as well. This is not to say the right is any better at that. I think sometimes the left kind of stumbles into the correct answer, but not because the left is actually like super concerned with data and shit. Yeah, this is people ask these kinds of questions about their parents and stuff all the time, and I made a whole video about that. It's called "Stop Trying to Fix People." It's just not your job to do that. Feel free to have discussions and make your argument, but you shouldn't expect people's minds to change. People have to take that step on their own. I don't know if you guys can hear in the background, but the fucking dump truck just showed up, making a bunch of noise outside. Do you feel different after getting the shots? Is it a weight off your shoulders or anything? I don't know. I think about it. One of my friends put it in a good way. I feel like I basically take it as permission to not be terrified all the time anymore. That's kind of how I think about it. And not just for me, but also like loved ones, friends and family who've also gotten their shots. Well, DC already has senators, right? Or no? Am I getting that wrong? They have senators, and they also. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. 2 ways I've seen myself grow in the last year. I don't know. I have gotten a lot better with money over the last year. That's one way. I think just in general, I'm more, it's something I'm still working on, but I think one of the things that I've had to work on is I really don't like doing shit that I don't want to do. And in many ways, I think that that's okay, because I think most people put up with way more shit than they ought to put up with, just in life and career and everything. But the fact of the matter is sometimes you have to do shit you don't want to do, and that's just part of being an adult. And that's something that I've kind of matured about, is like, okay, I'm just gonna suck it up and just do the shit that I need to do, even though I don't want to. And I'm not perfect at that, but that's something that I've gotten better at. Who makes the background music? My brother John Ivory makes the music for the streams. The music on the videos is I have a subscription to Epidemic Sound. Let's Shalom, man. Thank you for the 5. Why do you think certain YouTubers get huge subscriber numbers, like the Paul brothers, Liza Koshy, Dave Dobrik? Is it timing, content, personality? It's a lot of stuff. You can go, like, a lot of people have literally analyzed what these people do. They are very, very methodic about the way that they do what they do. Sorry. So some of them, actually all 3 of the people that you mentioned already had huge audiences on Vine before YouTube. So they already had built-in audiences when they transferred over. So that was a big part of it. But also, like, they're kind of geniuses in terms of how they manage their content. They like the Paul brothers, for example, especially Logan Paul. This dude is a absolute master of clickbait. He has like the best video titles, and when I say best, I don't mean like the most artful or like the cleverest. I mean the most clickable titles that I've ever seen on YouTube. Like, he's a genius at clickbait. And you can kind of say the same thing for all the others. And then the videos are like, all of those people that you mentioned, they all have these like really like fast-paced, snappy videos that are like really digestible. So people want to watch the whole video. They generally release a lot of content. I mean, Liza Koshy doesn't anymore, but I think she did when she was like really active. So yeah, I mean, they just know how to YouTube. It's that, I mean, they have figured out how to game the system, and they're not afraid to. That's kind of the thing with a lot of other YouTubers, that they have like so much pride. They don't want to use clickbait. They don't want to like change their content to please the algorithm. Well, if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it. So I got the Pfizer vaccine. for those that were asking. Am I still playing Melee? I haven't played Melee in a while, but I mean, I play it every now and then. I haven't seen the new Mortal Kombat movie yet. Okay, for some reason I thought DC had senators. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Why do they have electoral votes then? Yeah, I guess I'm not even informed about that. I was I don't even know what's going on with DC, I guess. I have seen, I think like the first 4 or 5 episodes of Invincible. I think it's pretty cool. I feel like the first couple of episodes were not that interesting to me, but it gets better as it goes on, and you get more invested in what's going on. I like where it's going. Would it be better or worse if people whose opinions threaten democracy would get less media attention? I think it would be worse. The problem is the people, whether or not something threatens democracy is a matter of opinion. Or at least people will disagree on it. So it's going to be hard to convince everyone involved that person A's opinions threaten democracy. Electro Man, thank you for the 5. I'm out T1J, gotta get back to work. Boss man calling. I'll let your boy when you see him in the streets. Take it to infinity and beyond. I appreciate that. Thank you as always. Is TikTok just Vine for the new generation? I think TikTok is something much more than Vine. TikTok is like the next evolution of Vine. But yeah, in general, I'm all about representation. So I don't see why that would be a bad thing. Because I've argued in favor of like Puerto Rico gaining statehood also. Getting into Smash Brothers is hard. Some people have literally played it their whole lives. Yeah, getting into Melee for sure is hard. I think you can get into the newer games a lot easier. They're easier to pick up. In many ways, I think getting into like Smash Ultimate is not that hard, because the fact that a lot of people have played it their whole lives, that means that a lot of people have developed habits that they can't give up, and sometimes those habits are bad. Like they don't make you win at the game. Tips for consuming news and staying informed with it, I guess, without it affecting mental health too much. You take a break from the news every now and then. You don't have to watch it every day. As much as the 24-hour news cycle would not want you to think that, you don't have to watch the news every single day. don't have to read the news every single day. Just take a weekend off and catch up later. Like, if it's not your job to know the news every day, then don't do it every day. Don't. Just take a break. Hi, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How old am I? I'm 35. I turn 36 next month. I was playing Smash Bros. Ultimate online with my buddy and went 0 for 12. Yeah, I mean, with any game, if someone just knows more about the game than you, they're gonna win. But that doesn't mean that you can't learn more about the game. I think that's also one of the downsides of Smash is that while it is easy to get into, people think that the fact that it is easy to like learn how to play, that means that it is easy to win. And just like anything else, you can be better than other people at Smash. But it's you could go, watch a couple videos, study for a few hours, and I bet your record would improve if you just practice for a little while. I don't know. The Oscars is not on my radar at all. I don't keep up with that at all. Love from Cotter. Thanks for watching all the way from Cotter. Did you at some point ever feel as if everyone else was doing well except you? If you did that feeling go away on its own? I don't think I really felt like that. I don't think I've ever felt like that. I mean, everyone's on their own path, and I think I kind of always understood that. My self-educated, did I go through higher academia? I mean, I went to college for a little while, but I didn't finish it. But I mean, I learned some things in college. A lot of people asking about Vosh. I don't watch that much Vosh. He seems smart, but I don't think his videos and streams are for me. I'm not the one he's trying to reach out to, it seems. Any special plans for my birthday? I'm not sure. My dad's trying to get me to go on a cruise. I don't know if I want to do that though, because it's still, the pandemic is still here. And even though I'm vaccinated, it just seems like an irresponsible thing to do. I'm not even sure if cruises are open. I mean, maybe they are, but. I don't have the patience for actually becoming game competitive, but losing is also vital to getting better. If you can figure out why you're losing, you get that much better. Absolutely. That's why I like fighting games, because almost all the time, if something is beating you, you can pinpoint the exact thing that's beating you, and then either train or look up how to beat that thing or how to not lose to that thing. But I think there's two different types of people. There's some people for whom losing is just not fun, and if they lose all the time, they stop having fun and they stop playing the game, and that's that. But there's other people for whom losing just drives them to learn and get better, and it makes them want to play even more. And I'm definitely in that second group, and that's why I love competitive games and fighting games and stuff like that. Smash is fun, but Brawlhalla is a lot more accessible for new players and just people new to gaming. I guess. I mean, I feel like they're pretty equally accessible, but just like Smash, there are people who are really, really good at Brawlhalla, and they will fucking wreck you. If you were to go back to college or to grad school, what subject would you find interesting? What subject would I find interesting? I mean, I find everything interesting. It's hard to say. I mean, if it were something that I would actually use, maybe like writing or filmmaking or something like that, like public speaking, communications. But I mean, I find everything interesting. I would love to learn more about cosmology and astronomy. I would love to learn more about like science in general. What did I think about Lindsay Ellis's out and out rejection of being shamed and refusal to be canceled? Well, it's hard. Like when we're talking about this specific issue, like the thing that happened to her was absolutely ridiculous. It's hard to compare this to the overall conversation about cancel culture because this situation was so particularly stupid. So like if we think about other times when people have been quote unquote canceled, like if you think, for example, when ContraPoints got into a lot of trouble because of adding Buck Angel to her video. I think that was also pretty stupid, but at least it was rooted in a genuine concern. Like, I don't know that much about Buck Angel, but apparently he said a lot of like troubling things, and that's like a legitimate concern. The Lindsay Ellis thing was completely stupid from top to bottom. It was like a completely absurd reading of a weird tweet that she made. It wasn't even a weird tweet. It wasn't even like a lot of people were like, you know, maybe it was overreacting, but she had a bad take. It wasn't even a bad take. It was like a totally normal, innocuous take that people went wild over. So this was like one of the most stupidest controversies that I've ever seen on Twitter. And so I remember when Lindsay like released her video, I remember before I even watched it, I was like, I hope that she does not apologize for the tweet in this video, because this whole thing is stupid. And for those of you who've seen the video, you know that that video is not an apology in any way whatsoever. Recently gotten super into Tekken 7. I love Tekken 7. It's probably like my favorite more recent fighting. It's probably maybe my favorite fighting game. Like, it's so good. How long have you been coping with quarantine? How have you stayed motivated to finish work? Well, for me, I guess it's been a little bit easier for me because even before the pandemic, I didn't really leave my house that much. But for me, being, having more time at home has resulted in me being more productive. It's almost like I'm just sitting at home. I don't got nothing else to do. I might as well do some work, or I might as well be productive in some way. So it's had a good effect on me personally. Losing is not fun. That's what motivates me to practice harder, but I take a break if I lose 3 times in a row. Tilt ain't fun. Well, yeah, I mean, tilting is a whole different thing. Like, you can still have a competitive mindset, but still tilt. But I think it's good if you are competitive and you do want to get better at games. I think it is good to try to learn how to minimize tilt. And one way to do that is to take breaks. We got people all over the place. We got Qatar, Serbia, Turkey. Lindsay Ellis is a video essayist who makes videos about films. I guess you could call her like a YouTube film critic, or film analysis person. And she makes like really great videos. She's quite popular, has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And she made a tweet basically that literally the gist of the tweet was Raya the Last Dragon is it's similar to Avatar the Last Airbender. That was literally what the tweet said basically. And then people basically took that and accused her of being racist. Basically, like she was saying like all Asian media is the same, or like all media made by Asian people is the same, or some shit like that. Like they felt like she wasn't giving credit to the Asian filmmakers or whatever. It was really dumb. And then this led to a whole thing where people started digging up shit that she made like 12 years ago and stuff like that. It was it was dumb. Like I said, it's like one of the stupidest controversies I've ever seen in this whole sort of cancel culture arc. What would I do with $150 billion? I don't know, like end world hunger or something. Do you use tilt controls in Mario Kart? I don't play. I can't remember the last time I played Mario Kart. Yeah, no, taking a break is a good idea. Especially depending on the game. Like I play a lot of League of Legends and it's really easy to tilt in that game. A, because just the community in that game can be like really awful, but also just because of the nature of the game. Each game is like 30 to 45 minutes long, and it really sucks to play a game for 45 minutes and lose. That's like super tilting. So whenever I play League of Legends, if I like lose twice in a row, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this fucking game. What do you think of using game theory as a philosophical consideration of solving world issues? I mean, I think that's an interesting thing to think about. I mean, I would have to hear more concrete examples, but I like stuff like that usually. If I could change one thing about society, what would it be? I would eliminate poverty, if that counts as something macro. Important question, am I black? I suppose so. That's what appears to be the case. I think we should stop saying cancel culture because it's really not that. It's more like reactionary outrage. I don't really understand the distinction. Is there anything about lockdown I've enjoyed and want to keep doing in the future? I like all the shit that's getting released on demand now, or streaming, like new shit released on streaming services. Like, that's really cool. I hope that stays, and I think it will stay. For me personally, I have saved so much money by not going out places, not going to bars, not going to restaurants that much. I've saved so much money, and I hope to continue doing that. That's pretty cool. Have I ever tried Dota 2? Not. I mean, I've played it a couple times. I just can't really wrap my head around it. I've tried a couple times. I'm sure I could pick it up if I really tried, but whenever I play Dota 2, I just feel like I'd rather play League of Legends. So I just turn it off and play League of Legends. What's my favorite type of exercise? I guess weightlifting. Bilbo Goonie. Thank you for the... I don't know what currency that is, but it's apparently equal to $5.32. So thank you very much. You're amazing. You're amazing. Oh, is that rupees? Indian rupee? Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you very much. I love the translation or the transcription. Like this chat program puts the chat on the screen, and it like described the sticker that Bilbo sent. Hair character dancing under a rain of confetti and taking his hat off to say, "You are amazing." I love it. Yeah, ranked chat is definitely worse, 100%. And I do mute chat, but the problem is you can ping in that game, and people control you with pings also. And you can also mute pings, but it's usually not a good idea because pings actually help you like communicate in the game and communicate what you're gonna do. I'm sure you get this a lot, but I'm grateful to have at least one person on YouTube whose videos are so honest. I always feel like I'm being engaged with as an equal. Keep up the good work, man. Thank you very much for the kind words. There's a lot of people watching. Maybe it's because I'm streaming a little earlier than normal. Adam is the homie. I thought you were already a homie. But anyway, thank you for supporting the channel. If everything goes straight to VOD streaming services, don't you think that's going to kill cinemas? And if so, would you miss them, or do you think they're outdated anyway? I don't think it's going to kill cinemas. I think that people still want the theater experience, and people will still pay for it. I think it would just. I think it's. If anything, it's going to force theaters to compete more, which I think is good. But I think people are still going to want to go to the theater. I mean, maybe I don't know, like the way that businesses work is kind of weird. So maybe just that small loss in profit will convince a lot of these theater companies to completely close shop. But I think that people will still want to get the theater experience, the cinema experience. And if AMC can't, take a little hit, then I think that will open up the doors for, smaller theaters to open up. But then, you have to think about, how many movies will they be able to get and things like that. But I think that the theaters will stay open. Steve is the homie. Thank you for supporting the channel. I just jumped in not knowing what you said in the last 77 minutes. What's your favorite video game? My favorite video game is Metal Gear Solid 3. The Healthcare is the Right video is a masterpiece. I like that video a lot, actually. I think that's one of my best videos. I think it's one of my most underrated videos. I mean, it got a decent amount of views, but it didn't get as many views as some of the other videos, and I think that's like one of my most well-made videos, I feel like. Oh, you're on Patreon. Yeah, that's right. Well, I appreciate the continued support. I mean, I think a lot of filmmakers make their movies with the intent of them being seen in theaters. So a lot of them will probably sort of, push for them to not be released, on streaming services, to begin with. And I think that's fair. That's fine. But these days, people are watching stuff at home, and especially with, you've got like Netflix, you got Disney Plus, you got all these pretty well-funded shows and movies that are being released on streaming. So I think there's going to be some competition. And I think competition is good. I don't know. Sorry, like, the people who don't like capitalism, but I think it's a good thing. It encourages people to do better. I've never seen Attack on Titan. No, a lot of people said I should watch it. I did not play Detroit Become Human. I loved Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought it was really good. I thought it was better than WandaVision. And I'm super excited for Loki. I mean, the theaters are already back open here. I don't know how many people have gone to see movies, but I know that they're already back open. Or at least I think they are they? Yeah, they are. At least some of them are. Oh yeah, because I'm pretty sure my brother went and saw Godzilla vs Kong the other day. Thank you for the kind words, Uzmub. Unfortunately, I don't really listen to music, or I don't keep up with music. If I listen to music, it's just old shit that I grew up listening to, like 2000s hip hop and the classic rock station in my car. I did not see the Wolf debate. Like, talking about the Wolf, the Destiny debate with what's his name? Is it Richard Wolf? I didn't see that yet. I would like to though. I'll probably catch that. I have actually seen a couple episodes of Cells at Work. I really thought it was cool. Talking Eco, thank you for the 5. Thoughts, advice on getting people out of the doomer mentality. I low-key think climate doomerism is akin to climate denialism. I guess you'd have to like elaborate on what you mean by doomer, because I think that climate change is actually a really big deal, and there's a lot of people that don't take it as seriously as it ought to be taken. So I don't think that doomerism is like when you like react to something appropriately. Like, some things are bad, so when things are bad, it's not doomerism to react to them as if they are bad when they are bad. And like, if you like do any research on climate change, it's like really bad. Like, we're headed down a dark path. So I'm not sure if that's what you mean, or you might have to elaborate on that. Yeah, I wasn't fond of the way the role of villain was reassigned so abruptly at the end. The role of villain. I don't know. I don't know if I agree that that happened, but I don't want to do any spoilers, so it'd be hard to really discuss. I feel like anyone that was revealed as a villain, it was definitely, they definitely built up to it throughout the series. I'm surprised you're on this early. Yeah, I streamed a little bit early today, and I have there's like more viewers than average, and maybe that's why. Oh, is that, I mean, is that what doomerism means? I guess I was thinking of doomerism as like just people, like alarmism, basically, like people who basically say that everything's going to hell. But if it implies people who give up, then yeah, that's different. Maybe I just don't understand what that term means. But I don't know, like in general, the solution to bad ideas is good ideas, in my opinion. So the way that even though climate change is a problem, the way that you convince people to not give up is to provide them with a solution. and then from there they get to decide whether or not you're being convincing enough. So it's up to you to, well, not you specifically, but just society, people in general. We have to provide, we need to be like, if someone says it doesn't matter, we have to explain why it does matter. But as just like anything else, you can't just like change people's minds overnight. You just have to make the best arguments that you can and hope that you plant the seeds of doubt in people's minds and that they come to their own conclusions. I've ever seen a bad online debate. I saw a scheduled YouTube debate last night and other party basically got in the stream to back out saying they weren't prepared. Yeah, I've seen a lot of bad. I mean, most online debates are bad. What would you say to leftists who would claim that climate change can't be fought without ending capitalism? Well, it would have to be more specific arguments. But I mean, I'm not an expert on climate change. I mean, it would be something worth like thinking about, but sort of like they would have to make the argument. Saying something like that as if it's self-evidently true is useless. Like it's not a useful thing to say. It's like safely ignored. But if there's a more specific argument, then yeah, we can talk about that. The problem is I wake up late, so I often am not even up to stream at a certain time. Do I think capitalism / the flea market is going to find solutions to climate change, or do we need laws and restrictions? Well, I mean, I don't like the term the free market because I don't think the market should be free, but both. I mean, clearly we need regulations and restrictions. That seems obvious. But incentivizing different entities to compete and create things that tackle climate change is clearly something that could help. Am I wearing makeup? No. Do I look like I'm wearing makeup? There's a lot of light on my face. Maybe I look kind of shiny. What inspired you to make your first YouTube video, become a content creator? Loving your stuff. Keep up the great work. Thank you for the comment. Really just, I mean, I've always been a type of person that likes to make stuff. Before YouTube, I used to make all kinds of stuff. I used to draw little comics for my friends. I used to like build little random websites. I just like making stuff. So YouTube was just another opportunity to make stuff. What do I think about incarceration? Is it practical? Incarceration in general? I don't know. I've been thinking about that sort of thing recently. Like sometimes I feel like maybe we should just abolish prison in general, and replace it with something different. But that kind of requires me to think about it more, to really think about how that would work. I'm an environmental scientist, and I usually get frustrated by people who say it's too late to act when there's so many people working hard to mitigate it. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just even, you know, even beyond the science, that's just a logical fallacy to say because something is bad, it's not worth it to minimize the badness. Like, I feel like that's rarely true. Like, if you can do something to make something less bad, then you should probably do that, right? How long have I been growing my hair? Something like 11 years. Do you think if evangelicals are lying, don't truly believe what they preach just to grift money from innocent, vulnerable people? You mean like evangelical pastors and preachers? So I think some of them are lying for sure. I think some of them are lying and some of them aren't lying. I mean, some of them are obviously lying. Like when you see these evangelical preachers that are like waving their hands and curing people of cancer, like there is no way that they believe that that's what's happening. And I think a lot of that stuff is like actually like set up. But you know, there are definitely people who believe what they're saying. I think incarceration is all messed up. The idea of jail is to rehabilitate people. That's not how it's designed. It's just designed to punish people. Yeah, I mean, there's like different arguments. Because for one, I think that in general, I agree that punishing people for crimes is probably okay to do because it deters people from committing crimes. But there's got to be a line at which, you know, the punishment is just completely unhelpful and doesn't actually reduce crime. And, you know, perhaps our prison system is an example of that, especially in America. I can't speak for other countries, but I'm not sure if our prison system actually reduces crime. And we might have to think of other ways to deter people from committing crimes. Have you heard of Black Sands Entertainment? I don't think so. What is that? I've heard arguments on the left citing that 100 companies are responsible for 71% of greenhouse emissions. How can we solve this under capitalism? Well, we've already like attempted things like this. The problem is like, for example, during the Obama administration, there was a lot of talk about cap and trade policies and a lot of like carbon reduction incentives to reduce carbon emissions and things like that. And all that shit got shut down by the Republicans. So there were what am I trying to say? What's the word? People suggested and tried to at least try some things to incentivize the market to, you know, reduce emissions, things of that nature. But the problem is the government had been hijacked by fascists, basically. So and everything that the Republicans do is anti-capitalistic in my view. Like, they don't want competition, they don't want democracy, you know. So you know definitely capitalism can't function under a fascist government. You know. Yeah, when I stream earlier, people who live in other countries can watch at a decent hour. That's for sure. Do you think most Americans favor rehabilitation instead of punishment? Probably not. My dad often talks about how deterrence through punishment is a tricky thing because most people don't break a law if they think they're going to get caught. Yeah. And if that convinces people to not break laws, then that might be good. But I guess the problem is a lot of people don't think they're going to get caught. Well, definitely we got to get rid of private prisons. That has to go. I think that's pretty solid. I think anybody who's paid attention to that probably agrees with that. I agree with that for sure. I think like someone asked, like, do Americans really favor rehabilitation? I think that's a big issue too. It's going to be hard to convince Americans to rehabilitate people. Like, some people, and not some people, a lot of people, if not most people, they want criminals to rot in jail. They think they deserve it, and they think they want that retribution, especially violent criminals. And that's on both the left and the right. That's not just a right wing thing. People want criminals to suffer. And so it's going to be hard to garner popular support for some kind of like overhaul of the prison system, I think. But yeah, the prison thing is something that I've been trying to think about. It's something that I might make a video about once I've done more research. And another aspect of the prison system is it contributes to systemic racism and other forms of oppression and prejudice, because the prison system has its own problems, but then when those problems are multiplied for people of color, for black people, things of that nature, that then has the ongoing effect of systemic oppression of the black community, because so many of them are in jail or prison. How American do you think your channel appears to viewers from other parts of the world? Well, I do quite a few videos that focus on American politics and American issues, so I feel like it probably seems pretty American, but I also think that people from outside of America are pretty in tune with American politics most of the time, because what happens in America tends to have a ripple effect for the rest of the world. So a lot of people follow American politics. What's this song? The song is I don't know what it's called, but it's a track made by my brother. He made all of these tracks playing in the background. His name is John Ivory. I think he doesn't really have a lot of stuff on the internet, but I mean, he's got a SoundCloud. It's soundcloud.com/King John Ivory. How can Republicans be anti-capitalist when they don't want worker co-ops and free healthcare? A worker co-op, I don't see how that is capitalist. That's kind of the opposite of capitalist. I think the thing with healthcare is, I think that you have to understand, no matter what system you have to understand when something works and when something doesn't work. Anybody I think anybody that is advocating for some one-size-fits-all approach to their economic system, I don't think that's going to work, whether it's socialism or capitalism or anything. So I just think that's a poor way to look at it. And even if you're a capitalist, you have to understand that there are some things that the market just doesn't solve, and some things that the market just doesn't produce good results on, and healthcare is an obvious example of one of those things. Yeah, when I say anti-capitalist, I don't mean that they're socialists. I mean that they aren't capitalists. There are other systems besides capitalism and socialism. When do you think it is worth engaging with people with terrible ideologies, like on a scale of engaging randos on Facebook to avoiding anything remotely political with even your close family? I mean, I get asked some version of this question all the time, and I just feel like we have to really completely rethink how we interact with people. If you're going in trying to change people's minds, you're doing it wrong. That's just not going to happen. So if your goal is to change people's minds in the conversation that you have with them, I suggest you just avoid having political conversations altogether, because that doesn't happen ever, and you're just going to leave every conversation frustrated and mad. I like I said before, and I think it applies to a lot of things. I think the antidote to bad ideas is good ideas. So if you want to combat bad ideas, the way to do that, or at least one way to do that, is to spread good ideas. You shouldn't expect to change people's minds overnight, but you can plant the seeds of good ideas in people's heads. But you also have to make sure that your ideas are actually good ideas. I think that everyone needs to always put their own ideas under scrutiny, and everyone needs to consider the possibility that they might be wrong. Also, just because other people have different ideas, it's still worth it to listen to them and to understand why they think what they think. And a lot of times you'll learn things that you didn't know about these viewpoints, and you might even have your own perspective evolved because you actually listen to what other people have to say. So these, I don't know, these questions are always weird to me because it's hard to not interpret them as like condescending almost. It's like, how do I deal with all these idiots with these bad ideas? I don't know what to do. I can't change everybody's minds and make everyone think like me. Like, what am I supposed to do? And, you know, not accusing you of that specifically, but like, it's hard not to hear that when I get this kind of question all the time. It seems to me that capitalism at this stage is entirely too powerful. Would progression to more left solutions even be possible without some form of demonstration? Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you think counts as a left solution. Like, I think there's a lot of things that are very possible. Like, we are almost certainly going to get a minimum wage increase, possibly, if not to $10 to $15 an hour. Probably, I would bet that's going to happen before Biden leaves office. I think universal healthcare is something that can actually happen. Free universal healthcare, I think that's easily within the realm of possibility. Some form of that. So I don't, you know, I don't know what you think is possible and not possible, but I think there's a lot of things that we can definitely do. There's a lot of, you know, we've even like these temporary measures, like the stimulus payments, the expansion of food stamps and welfare. We've already shown that those things can happen. We've done these things already. So I think things are more possible and even more likely than a lot of people give them credit for. Prisons are fucked up worldwide, but America really got it back. The racism, lack of rehabilitation, and poor conditions are awful. Yeah, I mean, Americans have the most prisoners of any country, don't they? I don't really know anything about Fidel Castro. Also try to aim for understanding why another person holds the ideas they hold is very important. If you don't agree, yeah, exactly. What are your thoughts on communism versus socialism? To what degree are they the same thing? Well, I mean, a lot of these terms mean different things to different people. I swear to God, you ask 10 people what socialism is, you'll get 10 different answers. It seems that communism is just a form of socialism. Socialism seems to be the most sort of broad term. It seems like communists are like more, I don't know. I don't know. Communist seems to be more like into like the like Marx and shit like that, while socialism is like a more general term, it seems like. Don't kid yourself. We aren't going to get universal health care. The right has branded socialism, and that's not going away. Well, the thing about America is you can get laws passed even if the entire opposing party doesn't want it to get passed. All you have to do is get control of the government. And right now, the Democrats have a decent control of the government. They don't have like full unstoppable control, but they have pretty large control. That's one of the interesting things about America is a political party can take control of the government and kind of pass whatever they want to pass, regardless of public support, regardless of the opposing party. Does my latest video make sense if I've never seen any of Chappelle's work before? Should I go watch his stuff first? I think that, I mean, it will make sense, but it definitely would make more sense if you've seen Chappelle's work before. I'm actually like surprised at how many people have told me that they haven't seen Chappelle's stuff. I just thought everybody watched Chappelle's show, but I guess a lot of my audience is younger. I don't know, or maybe that's just they weren't into that show. But I mean, it is a fairly old show. It came out in like 2003, 2004. And I know, you know, if you're like early 20s, then that's, you know, before your time. So skin glowing. I've gotten a lot of comments on my skin. Does it look good? I don't know. Or is it just the light? Thoughts on the social democratic welfare state? That's sort of what I personally advocate for. What do you think about the two-party system of the U.S.? We have 6 major parties, and I feel like that encourages talking to people with other opinions rather than being condescending. Well, I guess we don't have many major parties. We have more than 2 parties, but it seems like a two-party system is inevitable when everyone only gets 1 vote and whoever wins all of the votes wins everything. Because generally people don't want to waste their vote, so they're going to vote for the person that is most likely to win, which kind of naturally lends itself to 2 parties. But I definitely think it's bad that we only have 2 major parties because, you know, neither of them really sort of represent fully what I personally want. I think you said on other streams that you played Vampire the Masquerade. What do you think of role-playing characters who do evil, harmful things? Does it have some kind of benefit, do you think? I think it can have a benefit. I think it can remind you. I think it can make you think about people more complexly. If you're like forced to play a character that does, not forced to, but if you choose to play a character that does bad things, it might force you to think about why someone might choose to do bad things. And it might make you think about, so quote unquote, bad people in a different way, in a more complex way, which I think can help us understand that and maybe like prevent bad things from happening in real life. I agree that healthcare should be a right for everyone. Ranked voting seems like a good idea to me, but I think it's something that should at least be tried, and then we see what happens and we go from there. Well, I've tried to pay more attention to my skincare. I can't really tell if it's working though. Where next for BLM following the guilty verdict of Derek Chauvin? What do you think the sentence will be, and do you think the prison industrial system should be dismantled? What do I think the sentence will be? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Do I think the prison industrial system should be dismantled? I don't know. I was talking about that earlier. I'm not really sure. I mean, I definitely private prisons should be. I think private prisons are just altogether bad, and I think everyone kind of knows that at this point. So definitely that should be dismantled. But as for just the concept of prison in general, that's something I've been thinking about. Maybe that needs to be dismantled as well. I've seen Tariq's Craig of the Creek How to Be Black video. It's similar to your tokenism video. I have not seen it. Nope. Vampire's the only World of Darkness game that I've played. Do I know any other languages? Not really. I've been trying to speak Spanish, and I've learned a decent amount of Spanish, but I wouldn't say that I can really have a conversation in there. What do I think about the gun culture in America? I don't know. I kind of hate it. I'm not a big fan of guns. I think guns are stupid. I made a whole video about it. It's called "Guns Are Stupid." But I mean, I think a lot of this has just been sort of like pummeled into our brains by our culture, by our media, also by very specific lobbying from the NRA. At some point, America is going to have to get over its obsession with guns. If not, I think things will continue to be pretty bad. What are some creators and or educators do you really watch and enjoy? I don't know. I don't know if you're looking for a specific genre. I don't watch a lot of like political stuff these days. I mean, I watch ContraPoints. ContraPoints is the best YouTuber. But that's kind of the only like politics adjacent YouTuber that I watch consistently, these days at least. But I mean, I like a lot of stuff. I like Lindsay Ellis. I like Captain Disillusion. I like Vlog Brothers. I like Caleb City. I like Nathan Zed. I like Doty. There's a lot of creators that I like. Just also, I was always wondering why people would want to play as a vampire, especially in the context of Vampire the Masquerade, where they are very much monsters. I don't know. I mean, I can't really speak for anybody else. I just think the lore and the way that vampires are imagined in that game are just really fucking fascinating and cool. So that's really all it is for me. I think if it was a different game, I think if it was a different game, I may not want to be a vampire. If it was a less interesting game, I may not want to. So Lennar's cool. I like Caleb City much more though. Caleb City is so funny to me. Like, he just has my stomach hurting from laughing so much. Lennar's pretty good. He has some funny ones too, but I think Caleb City's on another level. Anyway, we have reached the 2-hour mark on the stream, so we're gonna start winding this stream down. I can maybe respond to a couple more questions or comments there, but we're gonna start winding down. Thanks for joining the stream as always. And if you have Twitch, go ahead and follow me on Twitch. I'm currently streaming on Twitch as well, but I may do some solo Twitch streams when I'm like gaming and stuff. For those people that are into gaming, you can follow me at twitch.tv/t1j_. Trevor Jones, thank you for the $6.95 or the 5 pounds. It like the alert automatically converts it to US dollars. That's pretty cool. But it was 5 pounds. It's really crowded on Twitch. Do you mean in my chat? Because it certainly isn't. In general, on the platform, though, there's a lot of folks there. But I feel like if I can expand my platforms, I might as well. I don't really have a need to stream on Twitch, but might as well. I can do both. But and some people just prefer Twitch to YouTube, so I just want to give that option. Yeah, for those that this is their first stream, this is kind of how it goes. Pretty chill. Sometimes we actually do activities and stuff. Like sometimes I like do little painting streams where I paint little minis like this guy. This is like a little priest or something. I like to paint those, so I do those on stream sometimes. I've had streams where I just play chess on stream. Sometimes we specifically like follow the news and react to news stories and stuff like that. So sometimes we do different activities and stuff, but also sometimes it's just a like chill conversation like it was today. Is intent or perception more important when it comes to the delineation between cultural appropriation and appreciation? The line's obviously fuzzy, but there are there ways you help decide for yourself. Well, personally, I'm not in the business of trying to read people's minds. So it's like impossible to calculate people's intent most of the time. So like I can only speak for me personally, but when I see stuff, my reaction is not, hey, should I be upset about this or not? Like, that's not what I'm not looking to be upset by stuff. That's not the way that I choose to live my life. So if someone is like, appropriating some culture, it's like, A, there's no way for me to know your intent. So I'm not even going to try to read your mind. And B, there's probably bigger things for me to worry about. When we talk about appropriation and appreciation, that's more a conversation with the people doing it, and to ask people to be thoughtful about what they are doing personally. It's not a question of whether or not you should be offended or upset by it. If you are naturally upset by it, then that's fine, that's valid. But if you're like struggling to decide, should I be upset by this? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be upset. Just don't worry about it. Just live your life. Don't look for things to be upset about. How hard do I try when painting the eyes? I almost never paint eyes. That's just too hard. I don't know how to do that. I don't think my hands are steady enough. I'll try to stream earlier more often. I'll try to like wake up and wake up earlier and stream. For those of you that use Discord, I encourage you to join the Discord. Just go to theonejanitor.com/Discord. And it's just another chill community. It's kind of just like this chat, except there's no video, but it's the same chill community talking about a lot of different subjects and stuff like that. So if you're ever just looking for some people to hang out with and have a very chill conversation, consider joining the Discord. But I'm getting out of here. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Thanks for everyone who followed me on Twitch. Thanks for all of the people who donated. As always, you guys are awesome. If you haven't watched my latest video that came out a couple days ago, it is kind of like an analysis of the first season of Chappelle's Show. Just kind of me looking back at the show and seeing like how it holds up in today's times. So go ahead and check that out. And I don't think I'm going to stream this Friday, so I will probably see you next Monday. So I may stream on Friday though, but the easiest way to know when I'm streaming is to hit the follow button on Twitch or to hit the notification bell on YouTube. Unfortunately, the subscribe button itself, it doesn't guarantee that you'll be notified, but the notification bell should guarantee that. I should play my outro song. Actually, that's a good idea. I don't have it set up to play now, but maybe I should do that at the end of streams. Anyway, I will see y'all next time. Go check out my new video. The new video didn't get as many views as I would like, so if you want to, go ahead and like engage with it. Go click like, go comment on it, share it, all that stuff. That'd be cool. If you want to, of course. But beyond that, I will see you probably next Monday. Bye.